so many hadith about doing this and not doing that. It's sometimes very hard for a normal person, like me, for example, I would say, to know all of these. For example, I read something in a hadith saying sunnah is not to count with the beads. So how would you suggest that we normally gain this kind of knowledge?
You're talking about if we have more than an answer, more than a fatwa regarding a specific matter. How do we go about with it?
Yes.
Well, you see that people are not the same in terms of a level of understanding. We do have scholars, and we do have as well ignorance. But in between there is as well a stage. It's not really just ignorant and scholars. There is in between those who are students of knowledge. They are not scholars, but they're not ignorant. So if you are from the scholars, then you are not allowed to blind follow any person. Basically, you are to ask your knowledge, and because you've got the level of understanding from the Qur'an and the Sunnah directly. Whereas the person who is ignorant is the opposite. He's not allowed to make ijtihad because he's ignorant. And he's not allowed to make a fatwa for himself because he's ignorant. Now he is to go and ask a scholar. When you ask a scholar, we tell him the most important thing is that when you ask the scholar, you ask him because you want to please Allah. It's not because of there is something like hidden agenda, a personal, for example, benefit. So you're asking him to make things halal and you know it's haram. And you know that that scholar will make it halal, but that scholar will make it haram. So I go to the one who makes it halal. That's why Allah knows best. So this is number one. Number two, when you take that word or that verdict or that fatwa from that person who you think is good because you're ignorant, never ever be fanatic, meaning to think that this person cannot be wrong. He is 100%. This is what we call the blind following, where the person, he says, I'm a Hanafi. Can you listen to Abu Shafi'i? No, Abu Hanifa, no Shafi'i. Why is that? Why do you restrict yourself to one person? Why do you call yourself Hanafi or Shafi'i or Maliki or Hanbali or Awza'i or Thawri? Why do you want to call yourself like this? You follow the person whom you are relaxed to his fatwa. But you think that Abu Hanifa does not make mistakes, then that's called blind following. So this is the third one, which is the in-between. This is the category of the students of knowledge. Student of knowledge, he will have, for example, two verdicts or two fatwa. One says it's right, one says not right. Like the beads, he brought the beads. One says it is sunnah, and the other one is known as bid'ah. Now, he's a student of knowledge, he will know. So if he, for example, he had seen that the person who says this, okay, where is your proof? He looks at the proof. If it's a, mashallah, the proof is okay, then he'll follow. If the proof is not okay, he will not follow. Whereas the ignorant, he has no, like you said, power to determine which is correct and which is incorrect. So, in that case, if that ignorant person, he had detached himself from all whims and desire, and he chose one of those scholars, which he thinks is relaxed to, and yet that scholar, he had given a wrong fatwa, there is no sin upon him. The sin upon the person who made the fatwa, if he is a sinner. Because the scholar, if he's a scholar, and he made ijtihad, having Allah, is his goal, then if he made a wrong verdict, he's not going to be sinned. He's going to be what? Rewarded. One reward, that's in the system. One reward. Huh? One reward. And if the scholar had hit the target, it's the what? Double reward.
He was right.
Right. Now, understand this. If an ignorant person made a fatwa and he's ignorant, whether he hits the target or he does not, whether he makes a correct fatwa or not, he's sinned. Because he's not supposed to make fatwa. So if you've been asked halal or haram and you have no knowledge, and you did not hear a knowledgeable person talking about it, but you just said, halal, no problem, take it. And then it became halal, it was halal, you're sinned. Even though you were correct, because you made a fatwa with ignorance. Whereas the scholar, if he made it a wrong one, still he's rewarded, because he's making it with knowledge, but his knowledge did not make him to be making the mistake. Now, the beads. We're not really going to see somebody with beads in his hand. We're actually, it's not supposed to be like, mubtadi', bid'ah, kafir, you're outside the religion. That's not right. But you could tell them that, خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet of Allah, the companions, they had beads at their times. They could have the date stones to be put together, but they didn't do that. And you are taking this piece as to be a way of ibadah. It's a way of ibadah. So if we don't have a proof from the Quran and the Sunnah, not from the companions, why do we want to have something that is not really been, authenticated by the Prophet of Allah? So simply, just to take it step by step, you used to do it with your fingers. And the companions, they used to do, this is the Arabic way of doing the tasbih, by the way. This is how they used to do ya'qid al-anam. So when we say 33 times, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah 33 times, Allahu Akbar 33 times, and La ilaha illallah lahu la sharika lahu mulku lahu alhamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir. The following way. So Subhanallah, 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 Subhanallah. How much is that?
15.
15. And open your finger again. Subhanallah, 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 Subhanallah. How much is that?
30.
Then Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. How much is that now?
33.
Do this and then the same thing. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Allah Akbar, Allah, the same thing. That's how you do it. That's how the aqd al-anam. If you did like this, no problem. But this I'm talking in the Arabic way. Arab way. Used to do it. They don't do it like this, or they don't do it like that. But anyway, tasbih has to be tasbih, not half tasbih. So Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. But sub doesn't work. So you find people, for example, that's how they do the tasbih. Have you seen them? Then how do they do that? I don't know. And I've seen a person, wallahi, like this. Wallahi, I don't know what type of tasbih he does. How fast he is, I don't know. So, Allah musta'an. Tfadal.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. How do you know the difference between a sunnah hasana and a bid'ah? Prophet ﷺ mentioned man sunnah fil Islam sunnatan hasana. So how do you know the
Hadith of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, the Prophet he said, man sanna fil Islami sunnatan hasana falahu ajruha wa ajru man amila biha ila yawm al-qiyamah. He who does a good sunnah, then he will have the reward of it, and the reward of those people who had embarked upon doing this sunnah. And the opposite, he who has done an evil sunnah, then he will have the sin of it and the sin of every person who had embarked upon it. Now, what is the difference between bid'ah and sunnah hasana? As you're asking, what is bid'ah? See, sunnah hasana is not a ibadah, that you are doing something which is in religion, that is matching the ibadah of the Prophet ﷺ, which hasn't been approved by the Prophet of Allah. No, you are actually using something which is within the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah. For example, by the example inshallah is clear for you. If, for example, we look at the hadith, why is being mentioned, man sanna fil Islam, there is a reason between the hadith, there's a story behind it. The story behind it was that there was some people مشتبين نمار في المضر بل كلهم من مضر. They are from the tribe of Mudar. They come and they were looking like so poor. Their clothes are very poor. They came to the masjid. فتمعر وجه رسول الله. Prophet's face would come frown, so annoyed. How can such people like this and nobody is helping them? Then the Prophet of Allah made a speech amongst the companions. And that is, من تصدق بدرهم, من تصدق بصاع. He who wants to give sa', dirham, anything. As soon as he heard one of the companions this, he went home and he brought surah, just like a bag of whatever he's got, and he put it there. The other Muslims, they saw him, they followed suit, and they started pulling and bringing until there was a big, massive mountain, a pile like this in the masjid. Prophet Allah's face was really gold. Out of what? Rejoice. So he said, he who does a sunnah hasana, then he will have the reward of it and the reward of the people who embarked upon it. What is the sunnah hasana that man did? He encouraged the companions. He did not do a new ibadah. He did not bring a new religion. Like for example, when we invent the MP3 to spread Qur'an and Sunnah, are we rewarded? Yes. But when we use the MP3 to spread corruption, we're going to be what? Sin for that. So this is to do with the Sunnah Hasana. As for the Bid'ah, there is no such thing called Bid'ah Hasana. The Bid'ah is always Dawah. That's where the confusion takes place, and that's where the innovators would like you to think that there is something called Bid'ah Hasana. No. And they bring maybe Imam Nawawi's words and they confuse you with those words as well. So we say the Prophet of Allah, when he ascends the pulpit in every Jummah, and every time he makes a wedding ceremony, the following words comes out of his mouth. وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالٍ وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالٍ إِنَّ شَرَّ الْأُمُورِ مُحْدَثَاتُهَا وَإِنَّ كُلَّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ وَكُلَّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ وَكُلَّ ضَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ. How many kulls we have? 4. That is وَإِنَّ شَرَّ الْأُمُورِ مُحْدَثَاتِهَا وَإِنَّ كُلَّ, that is every innovation is a misguidance. وَكُلَّ ضَلَالَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ, and every misguidance, every innovation is a misguidance. And every misguidance and every misguidance is and every innovation is a misguidance, and every misguidance in the hellfire. 4, every. So it's somebody else comes after that, hearing the word every 4 times, and he says, not every bid'ah is dalala. How can it be? I mean, the Prophet of Allah is Arab, speaking to an Arab. إِنَّ شَرَّ الْأُمُورِ مُحْدَثَاتُهَا وَكُلَّ مُحْدَثَةٍ بِدْعَةٍ وَكُلَّ بِدْعَةٍ ضَلَالَةٍ وَكُلَّ ضَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ. So we have every. So if the Prophet ﷺ is saying to the Arabs that every bid'ah is dalala, we have to take that. But they bring you some shubuhat, those innovators. Shubha number 1, the Qur'an. Shubha number 2, the saying of Umar al-Khattab, radiyallahu anhu, ni'matul bid'ah hadi. They bring you that. It's easily to be tackled. Very easily to be tackled. Putting the Qur'an between the two different. Number 1, it is the Prophet of Allah wanted to do that, we couldn't do it at this time. Number 2, who has done this? Me? Kingston people? Is the companion. And the companions, whatever they do is from the religion. Because لا تجتمع أمتي على ضلال. As for Umar al-Khattab making the Taraweeh prayer, who's done the Taraweeh prayer? Umar al-Khattab? No, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he stopped it because he was afraid that it can become compulsory. But later on, the revelation stopped. So he knows that it's not going to become compulsory. So he revived the Sunnah. He did not make a bid'ah. So all of that we mentioned, but still these people, they say there is a bid'ah hasana. We say to them, ittaqullah. There is no such thing called bid'ah hasana. There is sunnah hasana, yes, but not bid'ah hasana. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. And I believe we need to conclude. Subhanakallah bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta.